It is no secret that development of technology and artificial intelligence is accelerating at a rapid pace. Moreover, Elon Musk himself is a visionary and creating robots that will be great to help the future. In this video, you'll discover about Tesla Bot, which will revolutionize Earth and Mars as Elon Musk reveals it. So make sure to stay tuned until the end. It is known that our understanding of Tesla Bot has been clouded by more questions than answers. Our world as we know it may soon be changing dramatically with a relatively small announcement. In the field of artificial intelligence and machine learning, there is a company that plans to produce a humanoid robot and send it to work in the real world. So why does this car company even build a robot in the first place? And what's the point in making it resemble a person? What does this even mean for society? And what is it going to accomplish? In today's video, we'll try to provide an overview for all of that and more. Tesla founder Elon Musk stressed an important point with his introduction of Tesla Bot, saying that it is clear that the company is the largest in the robotics industry. This is something that needs to be said since that hasn't been the way most people are viewing this company. It is not the most obvious connection to make between an electric semi-sentient car and a robot. Nevertheless, once you hear it said, you will understand it. Moreover, the Tesla Bot has been designed around the notion that the company can simply adapt the same tech that makes the robot car work to a person-shaped robot. Sort of like a transformer, but without the transforming part. By now you are probably aware that the Tesla Bot is 5 feet 8 inches tall and 125 pounds heavy. Aside from that, it will have a relatively slow-moving speed of just 5 miles per hour, and it will be capable of performing the most basic tasks. But it cannot perform superhuman tasks. In most cases, I think people will be able to outrun it, or at least overpower it. Then, rather than a face, Tesla's Bot will have a display screen. With 8 cameras, it'll provide 360-degree vision, just like a Tesla vehicle. Using 40 electromechanical actuators, the hands have 5 fingers and an opposable thumb, so it functions as a human hand. Additionally, the robot is designed to automate boring, repetitive, and dangerous jobs, as well as tedious and repetitive work in general. However, constructing humanoid robots isn't exactly a revolutionary idea, is it? Many of these already exist, Boston Dynamics being one of the more obvious ones. There's a robot version of Baby Groot from Disney too, and all of that stuff is amazing. But those robots don't have any brains. As a result, something like Boston Dynamics Atlas might not be very useful in the real world because it's like a Tin Man syndrome. Tesla may not be able to build an intelligent robot that can do a backflip, but they can make an intelligent robot that can see and communicate while comprehending the world around it and interacting with it on a semi-sentient level. Meanwhile, Tesla's products is pretty simple in its physical robotics. A Tesla car does nothing more than go, stop, and turn. It's the robot brain on which the company focuses all of its research and development efforts. Because they are ahead of the competition, creating a car that can steer itself is nothing new. Ford can do it too. On the other hand, creating a car that can maneuver itself through city traffic merely by using camera vision for guidance, well, that's something only Tesla can achieve. And they made this possible by using artificial intelligence, neural networks, and machine learning techniques. As it stands, other companies making so-called autonomous vehicles are relying on crutches such as LiDAR sensors and HD mapping. However, artificial intelligence is the only truly scalable real-world solution for autonomous vehicles. Tesla has built a system that can teach robot cars to drive themselves in a relatively short time. And it seems that Elon Musk figured that out a couple of years ago. In other words, we might consider a robot that is autonomous a hardware problem, but the real challenge is a software issue. It is because it takes an exceptionally large amount of training to bring a neural network up to the human level of thinking. Due to that, Tesla developed their Dojo supercomputer, which is the world's most powerful system for machine learning. In theory, Tesla could use the same infrastructure to create a self-driving car to solve a whole new problem with a Tesla bot. And this is an excellent question that's been asked several times. What would be the point of making the robot human-like? The human body isn't entirely efficient, is it? Similarly, humans encounter problems with balance and mobility, causing them to trip over and stuff. People say that if robots are to perform tasks, then they should be specifically designed for those tasks. Of course, this is true for things like sweeping the floors. Roomba is a far better choice than a giant robot pulling a vacuum cleaner. By nature, people are not the most efficient designs. By contrast, we are the most adaptable, and that will be the humanoid robot's greatest strength. The entire infrastructure can already be controlled by humans. It is therefore necessary that we have a system that allows us to gradually switch out human labor with robot equivalents, while there is a transition period between them. In terms of a boring, repetitive, and potentially dangerous profession, window washing checks all the boxes, and it's not one that young people are clamoring to get into. Theoretically, we could build a robot that automatically cleans all the windows, so window washers could be fired, and that's a lot of money and time to design. So who will pay for it? How will it be built? There is no such thing as a quick fix, and no such thing as reinventing the wheel. Alternately, we could just swap out people with Tesla bots. Imagine a window washer retiring or moving on to another job. Then the next day, he's replaced by a robot person who has been trained to wash the windows. When there are too few people left to do window washing, the robot simply gets added to the team, doing the same job as the humans do. Similarly, meat packing, sewer cleaning, or garbage collection could also be considered boring, repetitive jobs. With the Tesla bot, it is possible to complete any physical task that people perform today, and it can complete the task as well as, or maybe even better than a human. However, that doesn't mean it can perform perfectly, but it can perform. To compensate for this, it could be possible to design and build thousands of different robots to perform thousands of specific tasks now handled by humans. Further, these robots could do their tasks perfectly. But just imagine how many factories and production lines would be required if we had a window cleaning robot, a sewer cleaning robot, a meat packing robot, a construction robot, and etc. Tesla has already perfected the art of manufacturing, so they could build just one gigafactory to make just robots. Then, almost all of the components of batteries and chips could be made and assembled under one roof. This could be scaled up as millions of bots would be built each year. And each bot would simply show up for work with the same tools and infrastructure that humans use every day. Seamless transition. And how will autonomous robots impact the jobs of the future? In this case, jobs will be done in space, where humans aren't capable of doing them. Let's face it, all of us know that Elon Musk wants Tesla bot to take him to Mars, and starting to send these things to other planets makes sense. Although Elon's plan to build a million-man city on Mars by 2050 is a brilliant idea, they said that it is a logistical nightmare. And why is this so? It is because on a planet that cannot support human life, how can anything be built? Further, a starship that has had hundreds of tons of cargo can be landed on Mars, but who's gonna unpack it? Do you think a few astronauts in pressure suits could build an outpost on Mars without dying? Having a small array of Tesla robots work on a problem seems unlikely at first, but if you had them, then it begins to look feasible. With SpaceX starships capable of carrying 100 metric tons of cargo, and each Tesla bot weighing 125 pounds, each ship can carry 1,763 bots to Mars. Then, it would be possible to load up a second starship with megapack batteries and solar panels for recharging. Those two ships could then carry all the tools and materials needed to build our first outpost on Mars. Then SpaceX could do this on the moon even faster, because they can launch a crew of robots and supplies there, and have their entire colony ready in a week. Thus, it is very likely that humanoid robots will be walking among us and fulfilling duties that people do. That will be strange, and some people may not be okay with it, and others may be outright mad about it. However, just as self-driving cars are inevitable, it's probably a change we can't avoid. So eventually, there won't be enough people to fill each job. When an old person retires, there won't be anyone to take over the job, sort of like the window washer. There are more jobs than people, but how are we going to clean windows if no one wants to do it? Those gaps will have to be filled by some automated process. Right now, we may think of Tesla's bot as only an idea, but it may also be the best idea we've had so far for solving the problem. What are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe with post notifications so you don't miss out on Tesla Era.